Of the return of the Noldor. The air of Middle-earth felt charged, as though the land itself sensed that something long foreseen was finally unfolding. The sun now walked its path with confidence, and beneath its light the wide plains, the shadowed forests, and the cold northern wastes revealed themselves without mercy. I felt the weight of new history pressing down, for the world was no longer waiting. It was receiving. The Noldor had returned. They did not come as one people in spirit, though they bore a single name. Fire, endurance, restraint, grief. Each host carried a different inheritance from Aemon, and these differences shaped them as clearly as any banner or blade. The earth seemed to know this, responding differently to each tread. Some lands hardened beneath their march, others opened as if in wary welcome. Fëanor came first, and already his story was running toward its end. Driven by wrath and urgency, he pressed north from the shores of Lambeth without pause, unwilling to linger even beneath the new sun. His sons followed, bound to him by oath more tightly than by blood. The light of Amen still clung to them, sharp and proud, and to many in Middle-earth they appeared terrible and splendid beyond imagining. Yet there was no patience in Fëanor then. "He is near," he said of Morgoth, and his voice admitted no doubt. "I will not grant him the mercy of preparation." So it was that Fëanor came upon Morgoth's hosts in Mithrim too soon, and with too few. Balrogs issued forth, creatures of flame and shadow, and the clash that followed was swift and devastating. In the dream, I did not linger on the battle itself, for its meaning lay not in tactics, but in consequence. Fëanor was surrounded, and though he fought with a fury unmatched, even his spirit could not outlast the weight of the enemy's servants. When at last he fell, it was not in despair, but in bitter clarity. He knew then that the Silmarils would never be his again, and that his oath had already begun to devour those who had sworn it. Carried from the field, he spoke once more to his sons. I felt the heat of that moment. Love twisted into command, pride hardened into warning. He named Morgoth the black enemy of the world, and with his last breath he bound his sons to a road from which there would be no turning. Then the fire that had defined him went out, and with it, the first great flame of the Noldor. Far behind, Fingolfin came at last out of the Helcaraxë. What remained of his host bore scars that would never wholly fade. Many had perished in the ice, others carried wounds of spirit deeper than flesh. Yet they emerged beneath the rising sun with a grim dignity, fewer in number but hardened beyond breaking. Fingolfin stood among them, tall and pale, his resolve quiet but unyielding. When he learned of Fëanor's death, no triumph touched his heart. I felt instead a complex grief, sorrow for a brother lost, relief for an end to division, and a heavy knowledge that leadership now rested fully upon his shoulders. "Thus it ends," he said softly in the dream, as it was always bound to end, too soon and at too great a cost. He claimed kingship then, not by force but by necessity, and most of the Noldor acknowledged him. Yet the sons of Fëanor did not yield their hearts, though they bent outwardly. The oath still ruled them, and beneath all counsels it whispered, patient and implacable. It was in this time that the Noldor first encountered the Sindar in strength, and the meeting was cautious on both sides. Thingol, Lord of Doriath, beheld the returning exiles with measured eyes. The light of Aemon upon them stirred memory and unease alike, and Melion's silence beside him was full of unspoken counsel. "What do they seek?" Thingol asked at last, and though his voice was calm, it carried authority born of long patience. "Room to dwell," Fingolfin answered truthfully, "and leave to stand against Morgoth." Melion looked upon them then, and in her gaze I sensed knowledge deeper than words. She perceived the doom that clung to them, and she marked especially the sons of Fëanor, in whom fire burned without restraint. Yet she spoke no condemnation, only warning, and that warning was offered quietly, as one offers shelter before a storm. Thus the Noldor established their realms across Beleriand, not in unity, but in wary cooperation. Fingolfin ruled in Hithlum, watchful and steadfast. His sons learned the ways of Middle-earth, and their strength grew. Elsewhere, other princes claimed lands, each according to his nature, and the elves of the west set about shaping the world once more, raising halls, forging alliances, and preparing for a war that none doubted would come. Yet beneath the labors and the councils, tension endured. The sons of Fëanor spoke often of the Silmarils, and their words carried an edge that troubled even their allies. The Sindar listened and remembered, and some withdrew their trust. Among the Noldor themselves, old loyalties strained under new realities, and the memory of burning ships and grinding ice lingered like a scar no song could erase. As the dream carried me onward, I felt the weight of inevitability settle upon Beleriand. The Noldor had returned in glory and grief, bearing unmatched skill and unhealed wounds. They had come to challenge Morgoth, and in doing so, they had bound their fate to the land and to all who dwelt within it, Vin. And I understood then that this return was not merely a coming home, nor merely an exile's end. It was the beginning of a long war of patience and pride, of alliances tested and oaths pursued beyond wisdom. The world had received the Noldor at last, but it would demand from them a price greater than any they yet imagined.
Crimson banners in the starlight, helms like fallen broken moons, ash on armor, ash on fingers, hearts still burning from the doom. Words of fire on the shoreline, ships like beggars in the foam. He was laughing as they vanished, called the darkness coming home. Oh, Fëanor, flame that would not bow, blazing crown that seared your brow. You burn so bright, you burn so proud, and left us walking in your shadow now. Snow like glass along the marges, steel that sings a colder note. Still he rushes into darkness, half a curse upon his throat. Seven suns around his embers, eyes like winter set in wild. He is falling, still he's reaching for a star he never held. Oh, Fëanor, flame that would not bow, blazing crown that seared your brow. You burn so bright, you burn so just walking in your shadow now. Did you hear the sea behind you when you spoke against the west? Did you taste the smoke